guys, I'm finally back. Finally, I'm talking about the New Year's special 2022 of Doctor Who Series 13 titled Eve of the Daleks. I don't know why it took me this long because I watched this on the day that it came out. But I guess, I don't know, I just wanted to get my thoughts around and also had other videos that I was working on. So I just didn't have enough time. So I'm sorry about that. But I am finally ready to talk about this episode. And there's a lot to talk about. Both good, bad. Just a disclaimer real quick. I am also writing the review for Doctor Who Flux. So I'm probably going to release that after this and after I release my reaction to Eve of the Daleks. But my review won't cover the Eve of the Daleks. It's just going to cover Series 13. So the specials, this one, the Sea Devils one, and then the final special will be its own review. Okay, so we got all that covered. Let's not waste any more time. Before we get started though, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, then you can like the video, comment, subscribe. All those things really help me out, and subscribe and let you guys know when I upload next. So let's not waste any more time and get on with the episode. So Eve of the Daleks, what is it about? Real quick, a quick summary. It's basically a time loop episode with the Daleks as the villains, as the bad guys of the special, which isn't new. The last two specials were also Dalek stories, but while the first two felt like a sort of connected story, this one felt like it was more on its own, more connected with the whole Flux thing. I honestly wonder if that was always going to be the plan, because we all know that Chibnall originally had more years to tell his story, but it was cut short. And I wonder if either this was always a plan that he always, like this story was always in his Dalek plan, or if he didn't have enough time to tell his Dalek plan, so he just ended it with this time loop episode. There's also the case that, he thought he had more time, so this was always going to be a part of his Dalek story, but he had other Dalek stories planned after this. I have no idea. But I always felt like there was somewhere that they were going with this story. Like the first one, where it was about like the Dalek getting, it was about a Dalek coming to Earth and then getting like torn apart or something, and then he put himself back together. And then the second one was continuing off that story. I always thought that the Dalek story was going to go somewhere, but because everything was cut short, this is what I believe, because everything was cut short, he kind of just had to basically produce some kind of Dalek episode, so he decided to just cut the Dalek storyline and just make this, which I honestly think, if that's the case, I honestly think that was a good idea, because the last thing I would want is for him to shove in a bunch of all the stuff that he had planned for the Daleks into one story, or into I guess he could do it if he wanted to, like, the three stories, like have this Dalek special, and then after that the next one be also a Dalek special continuing the story, and then the final special be the final Dalek special that he had planned. But I honestly am glad that he didn't do that either, because it would kind of suck if all three specials going forward were just Dalek specials. I'm glad that this is a Dalek special and the next one's going to be a Sea Devil special, because I feel like with specials they should be, different in some kind of way. And if all three specials in a row are just Dalek episodes, then I feel like that would kind of get old pretty quick. Long story short, I do believe that there were a change of plans, and whatever Dalek story he had planned got cut, and this is what we got instead. And like I said, have no problem with that at all, because I honestly enjoyed this story a lot. Like, this is honestly a breath of fresh air after Flux, because Flux was this ongoing story, which I have no problem with ongoing stories. Like I said in my review, I honestly hoped that they would do an ongoing story, and when they announced that they were going to do that, I was ecstatic. But the way that Chris Chibnall did that story, it just didn't sit right. It didn't sit right with me. So I'm glad that we got this more one-shot story that was focused on, just the here and now. I didn't have to rely on any timeless child. It kind of relied on the Flux, but it was honestly not that big of a deal. And it didn't rely on any Dalek story of the past. And it wasn't setting anything up. It was just having fun with what they had, and I enjoyed that a lot. They did say early on that this was going to be a more comedic story, and like at first when I heard that, I was like, A Dalek story, you're gonna make that comedic. Like, how is that gonna work, Chris Chibnall? How is that going to succeed at all? And then after that, I saw the episode and I'm like, I'm glad it was comedic. Like, there were some jokes that didn't land, but there were honestly a lot of jokes that did. You'll see my reaction. I was laughing a lot.
Wait, are you from building control? Are you from the council? Here to control your building. And 3 of you on New Year's Eve. You make me sick.
And I part of that was just me accepting what this was, you know? I could have been upset that the Dalek story was a comedy and, you know, they weren't being taken as seriously. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna live in the moment, I guess. I guess that's a way to say it. But yeah, just live in the moment and just enjoy what's in front of me. There's no way that it's not gonna change. The Daleks in this episode were not meant to be taken seriously. They weren't meant to be scary, which is crazy considering that they had like those new weapons. But that you know, after like I accepted that, I ended up just having fun with the characters, especially the new characters, just how fun they were, how lively, it was just enjoyable after that. So yeah, it was a comedic story, and yes, it was also a Dalek story, but you know, me personally, I don't have a problem with the Daleks not being taken as seriously all the time. That doesn't mean that I don't want them to have serious stories, but I'm okay if like every now and then the story has a Dalek in it, but it's not like, oh, the Daleks, you know, I feel like the whole like thing with like the Daleks and the Doctor, of course they'll always be like the mortal enemies, like even before the Time War, but I feel like, you know, especially with after the Time War and everything is sort of set back to normal, you know, until the Master ended up messing it up again. I feel like we can sort of tone down the whole Doctor versus Dalek thing. Again, I understand the Daleks are like one of his number one enemies, and I understand that even with the Time War and everything, that even before the Time War, that was the case. I'm just saying, if you want to have a special about like a silly time loop sort of thing, then go ahead and do that. And you know what? Honestly, the story wasn't just silliness. It has some serious moments too. And there were times where the Daleks did look menacing. Like there were times where they did look, you know, very scary in the dark. You know, so like I'm not saying it's like they weren't made to be like, you know, idiots or fools, but you know, I don't mind them being in a comedic setting. Like I really did like how the Dalek was like, we Daleks do not have managers, even though kind of technically they do. They have like a rank of command. But like, you know, I just like how blunt they are and how like straightforward, and they're sort of similar to Drax in a way in the MCU, you know.
Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
They're very straightforward. They don't really get things like jokes or like, you know, metaphors and things like that. So like I feel like they could use that. The writers can use that to their advantage. I do say that they were not jokes, but at the same time, once again, we have the problem with like their aim being as good as it needs to be, and at times I can understand that. But there was this one scene when the guy, the new guy, got in the way of the new girl and was trying to protect her, and they were just like chatting back and forth. They were chatting quickly and then, you know, with urgency, but they were still chatting. And the whole time, the Dalek was right in front of them with his freaking machine gun and was missing every single shot. And I'm like, you have like a rapid fire weapon and they're right in front of you and you're missing. And it's times like that where I'm like, okay, that's a bit too much. I don't mind if they're moving around and, you know, the Daleks are missing, but if they're right in front of you, not moving and just moving backwards, not like, you know, swerving or anything, and you're right in front of them, come on, it's a bit much. Especially since they'll come back. You don't just kill them off and then have them come back. Like, there's no reason why you don't have to do that. But yeah, that was like, that one scene was honestly the most annoying part. I honestly didn't mind the Dalek, missing all those other times. I really like the camera movement, with the companions and those two guest characters, the way when they were moving and like dodging. I liked how the camera followed them. I feel like that's not really, maybe that is something that I feel like that wasn't really something that we saw in the Flux a lot. The camera movement, the directing was very good in this episode, I think. But yeah, I think, like, the format of the episode, the comedy, the tone, and like, the directing were all really good in this episode. And the comedy, yeah, was really good. The woman especially was really, really, I don't remember their names, but they were really, really good, especially the one that actually worked in the warehouse. I thought she did a really good job, and once again, I honestly feel like they would have been better companions than the companions that we got, because we got to focus on them so much more, and also their characteristics were just so out there. Like, yeah, the employee was very, very selfish and very, very rude, but I liked that. I liked working with that kind of character. And yeah, the guy was extremely creepy, but he was also pretty funny. And when he was like going all like, you think you can get arrested? Or whatever, I was like hyped with him. He really was. He's when he's not being creepy, he can be pretty charismatic. So like, honestly, I wouldn't have mind if they were the companions rather than Yaz and Dan. No offense to Yaz and Dan, but like, I don't know, I just had a lot more fun with those guys. But yeah, so talking about the actual story, basically, yeah, like I said, time loop thing, the TARDIS is messing with time as it's trying to reconstruct itself. The Daleks locate the TARDIS, figure the Doctor is there as well, tries to kill her, but time loop messes everything up. So everybody is in this time loop. Nobody is in control. All they can do is adapt. And I like that. I like that so much. I like how the Daleks get to adapt as well as the heroes. And it really reminded me of what was it? I think it was called like 10 or 12 minutes. It was like a time loop game set in an apartment. And each time every time you die, the time loop resets itself, and you have to find a new way around it. Sometimes you have to actually like kill yourself and go back in time so you can fix something, like, if you made a mistake or something, or maybe you're trying to find a clue and then you found it and then you die, and then you use that clue that you found in the last time loop to better, to move forward in the story. The story ended kind of weird. If you played the game, then you know what I'm talking about, because I was just like, but the actual gameplay was a lot of fun, and that's something that I feel like that we got in this episode. I liked how when the group found something, they'd go back in time, and then they take that into consideration, they take that into account, and they change their plan. I think one time they actually died on purpose because they found a way around what they were doing. And they came up with a plan, and they needed to die in order to start all over. I like that. Honestly, I wish this was a video game. Honestly, I would take this as a Doctor Who game. This being in this warehouse and being with the Doctor, or you are the Doctor and you're trying to find a way out of this time loop. Maybe it's too late since 12 minutes already exists, but you know what? You can make a VR Doctor Who game and put in the Doctor Who bits and bobs, and I think that it will be different enough from 12 minutes to make your own game. Like I said, I think it'd be really cool and really entertaining, because seeing this in show form was so much fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. The characters, Yaz, Dan, and the Doctor, I think they were pretty good too. The Dan and Yaz played their parts. Of course, the Doctor played her part as well. I don't really feel like anybody really had their own storyline, except Yaz, which we'll talk about soon. But like, I don't think Dan really had that much of a storyline. He was more of a support character. Hopefully he has more of a storyline in the next series special, because after this special he's done. Well, not after the Sea Devil special, but after the final special he's done. So hopefully he gets something. Hopefully his storyline didn't end with Flux, which even in Flux he didn't really have that much of a storyline. The Doctor was really just sort of figuring everything out. That was her storyline. There wasn't really any internal conflict going on except with Yaz, and I guess I honestly didn't really mind that. I think I was so focused on the time loop and them finding a way around that I didn't really mind that the Doctor and Yaz and Dan didn't really have their own internal conflict going on. Except, of course, Yaz. I said Yaz. I meant not Yaz, just Dan and the Doctor. And I guess sort of the Doctor near the end. Let's talk about the Yaz thing. So this is also the episode where it is confirmed that Yaz is, has feelings for the Doctor. Maybe she's bi, maybe she's pan, maybe she is, lesbian. Whatever the case, she has feelings for the Doctor. And this isn't really new. There have been very strong hints that Yaz has feelings for the Doctor. And despite those hints, I still feel like it's rushed. And the main reason is because where was this? Like I said, there were hints, of course, but we didn't really get to go through that progression of the Doctor and Yaz having intimate moments with each other, not romantic moments at least. And I already have very strong feelings about the Yaz and Doctor relationship without even putting romance into the mix. And they're not good feelings either. So to put romance into the mix, I don't feel excited about this. I don't feel connected with this. And except for this one part where she talked about not really knowing how she felt herself and stuff, that I connected with. That I was like, okay, yeah, I completely understand what you're talking about. But as the Doctor, as a person who you like, I don't understand. I don't understand why I guess I kind of understand, but they don't connect. They don't really get to share any moments because this Doctor continues to hide stuff from her. And yeah, of course you have romantic moments that you have romances where it's okay, I like her, she doesn't like me. We saw that with Martha and the 10th Doctor, but it's I like her, she doesn't like me, or she doesn't feel that same way. And I don't know anything about her, but I just love how she's out there, and I like how she's she's like a hero. She's this beacon of light, and I like that, and I'm attracted to that. I get that, and you could have done something with that, but it takes more than just three specials in order to convey that, in order to make us really interested in that. This is a storyline that should have been going on since at least the beginning of Flux. This should have been going on. If you ask me, there should have been hints. You know what? She should have started to fall for her towards the end of series 11. Show strong, not only hints, but actual storylines of her falling for the Doctor. I actually have that be a part of her character growth during series 12, and then really act on it in series 13. That's what I believe. Either have her actually start dating the Doctor, or have the Doctor say that I'm not into you like that, or something like that. I don't know. But you should have really had that thing. Should have been solid and set. Series 12, let alone series 13. But to have it in the specials, to have it actually start talking about it in the specials, I feel like it's too late now. We're gonna have because the first special is already done, so we only have 2 left, and I feel like the last special there's going to be way too much stuff to properly focus on this sort of relationship. So we only have really the Sea Devils, and that's it. Is that? And I see people praising this, oh, here we go, the first LGBT relationship with the Doctor, let's go. And I'm like, really? You guys are happy about this? You guys are okay with this? This is okay for you guys? Are you serious? How? I guess if you're happy, be happy. I can't even say that I wish I could be happy with you guys, because I don't think I can take these scraps. These are scraps. These are even less than scraps. It's scraps. It's like Play-Doh pretending to be scraps. So when you eat it, you get food poisoning. This isn't enough for me. I want an actual storyline, and you guys know what I'm talking about, because Rose got that same sort of storyline. Martha got that same sort of storyline. What do you call it? The Pawns got that same sort of storyline with each other, and River got that same sort of storyline. It was clear that there was a romance. There was no hinting needed. It was clear, and I understand there are some roadblocks with LGBT couples in series. Just look at Steven Universe. They had a gay wedding, and then suddenly they were forced to rush their last season, and it was pretty bad. But I'm not gonna pretend to be like, oh yeah, this is it, you're doing so much, because there are so many other live action shows that have actual lesbian couples and gay couples, and they continue to go forward. So what, Doctor Who has some kind of contract that says that they can't do that? Why can't they? I have a feeling that they can do it, but they just haven't. So I can't be behind this ship, and because I'm not satisfied with scraps anymore. I don't want scraps. I think we're way beyond scraps, and we're way beyond being like, well, at least they're in there at all. At least that's, we should be happy with what we got. No, I don't think so. I think we deserve a lot more, and I think that, like, you know, getting something near the end of her tenure is not enough. Because what if the Doctor, I mean, not even what if the Doctor turns into a male again, but Yaz is gone after Chibnall's era. So why does it even matter? I mean, God forbid she dies, because then it just turns into a bury your gays sort of situation. So yeah, that is my opinion on that. Other than that, I think the visuals for when the TARDIS like deconstructed itself was really cool. I thought that the TARDIS would be different when we got back in, but it was the same thing. I thought when they said, like, you know, it was going to be a reset, it was going to be an actual reset. I think it would have been cool if for the last 2 episodes, or yeah, for the last 2 specials, we had the original TARDIS look, like, you know, first Doctor-y look. And I know people are going to be like, well, you know, it's the 13th Doctor's era, so she has to regenerate in the TARDIS, and it'll be weird if she didn't regenerate in her TARDIS. First of all, is it going to be that? Would it be that weird? I don't know, maybe. But second of all, more importantly, the Doctor doesn't need to regenerate in her TARDIS. It's very clear that it breaks the TARDIS when she does that. So it would be nice if this Doctor doesn't do that. And if she does if she did regenerate outside, then I don't think her TARDIS looking like the first Doctor's TARDIS would, or like the classic Who Doctor's TARDIS, would be that strange. I don't know. It didn't happen. We have the 13th Doctor TARDIS back. I just think it would have been really cool to get that first Doctor look, you know, a factory reset, actual factory reset from the beginning, you know. But that's just my opinion. It's honestly not that big a deal. Despite that, I don't really think I have anything else. There was nothing really hidden going on. Like I said, there was no storyline connecting to this other than the flux. That was just sort of used as a reason for why everything is happening. I thought, like I said, the 2 people were really fun. The guy was creepy, the girl was rude, but you know what? I kind of started loving them. Not even hiding, but just like hoarding all of your ex-girlfriend stuff. Super creepy, man. really creepy. Yeah, Yaz, the Doctor, let's see where it goes. Dan, hopefully he gets a storyline in the next episode or the next special, which is going to be coming out on Easter, I think. So we have a while to go before then. Hopefully I have my Flux review out by then, hopefully. But I should definitely have my special, my Eve of the Daleks reaction up very soon. I already edited a lot of it, so all I need is I think like a thumbnail and maybe a few editings in the video, and then that's it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts. It got kind of serious near the end, but hopefully it didn't, like, you know, deter you guys, I think I'm using that word correctly, away from the video. And hopefully you guys stuck around for the whole thing. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Tell me what you guys thought about the episode down in the comment section down below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, bye.